For your entertainment tonight, me getting blown around trying to cross the Severn Bridge in a storm.
Dodge the lorry, sorry.
A belligerent van driver deliberately crashing into the Robin. And right now, a catastrophic overheat at the side of a busy motorway.
Houston, we have a problem. So the car started going very juddery. And it is leaking. What appears to be coolant. So the leak was coming down the front mud flap. So the car was hovering at around half on the temperature gauge, maybe slightly above. And then on that big hill, which is over there, it started to judder quite badly. And yeah, stopped and it's dumped all its coolant. Or some of its coolant. Other than that, I think we're all right. So I'm gonna try and slowly open that cap to vent, and I'll get some more coolant in there because I have that too. And then we'll try and get on the road again. It's quite funny, really. You could spend a stupid amount of money on a brand new car and still end up here at the side of the road. Everybody breaks down, you might as well buy something fun. We're venting it now. So I've just slowly knocked it to the side and you can see some real steam coming out of there. So we've got the cap off. I'm going to now try and pour some new coolant in. So before we left home I checked and the coolant level was up above the radiator there. Now I think almost all of it has leaked out. I couldn't find my funnel, so I put the coolant in this community well-being hub bottle. And then we've transferred it into here. We've got it up to the top, it's steaming. Yeah, I think we're okay. So we'll give it a little bit and then we'll start the car up and see if we can keep going. So, ladies and gentlemen, I put more coolant in after taking the cap off. Let it sit for a while and we're back on the road and the car is performing well. I think the issue is I caned it up a hill and I shouldn't have, and that just caused the coolant to boil over and the car to overheat. But we're good now, and have a look at our temperature gauge. We are right where we should be. So fingers crossed, no more issues.
There were immediately more issues.
If it's gonna do it, it'll do it here. What is that? Is that a misfire? I don't know. It only happens when I put my foot down flat.
We already have some ideas about the causes of this issue and how to fix them. Please subscribe to the Dino Dude Rocket YouTube channel because that will be coming very soon. Still to come today though, a belligerent van driver deliberately crashes into the Robin. First however, some quality of life improvements, starting with the fitting of a new clutch return spring after we discovered that the old one was missing.
This is going to be a nightmare. There's ants here.
I've got to be honest, I can't really see what the hell I'm supposed to be doing.
I found where it's supposed to go, I just don't know how I clip it on there. Ant. He's trying to get in my hair. Stop! Oh, he was in my hair. Bro, leave. I don't get how this is supposed to go on.
Eventually, however, after some cuts to my palm and getting rather dirty fingers, I managed to get the spring attached. I jumped into the car and carefully used the clutch over and over again to break it in. I love travelling up and down the country to film interesting cars for you guys, or working on my Reliant Robin, but all of that costs money and this channel isn't currently monetized. If you'd like to help me continue doing what I do, then go over to Patreon. I've just created one and you can support me there. If you do, you'll get early access to my videos, you'll get your name in the credits, and you can send me DMs. If not, that's fine. Simply liking and subscribing is more than enough. Thank you. One thing that's really interesting is the final generation of the Mark III Robin, the BN2, came with electric windows. No other Robin had this, and initially I thought that Reliant must have made these in-house. It turns out, however, after talking to some experts, they did not. They were just kit car aftermarket electric window parts. So would you like me to go out and buy some aftermarket electric window kits and install them in this car? Because it's definitely possible. Reliant did it themselves. If you're interested and you want me to add that to the list of jobs, just leave me a comment and let me know, and if I get enough people talking about it, I'll do it. One other thing that I've done is I've swapped the wiper, because the old one didn't cover the windscreen properly, but strangely you can't actually get just a new spring, which is what I assume we needed. We needed a new one of these. I looked everywhere and I couldn't find any, so the only option I had was to buy an entirely new wiper arm off a broken Robin, which is what I did, but now it clears the windscreen just fine.
I'm on the Severn Bridge and I'm getting blown all over the place. I genuinely feel like a kite. I'm just getting like thrown all over the road. Stay calm, stay calm. I tried taking cover next to a lorry, hoping that that would block some of the wind, but I don't think it really works because the lorry gets blown around and then I have to dodge the lorry. Fuck! Sorry, and then I have to dodge the lorry as well. Oh no! The orange light on the dashboard just came on and then it went off again. It came on briefly and then went off. The orange light is the oil pressure warning light. So I may need to look into my oil level when I get home and make sure we have enough.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have rectified the issue. So the dipstick took quite some time to find because it's buried in there like real deep. There, this white thing, that's it. So we got that out, we tested it, so now we will see if we have enough oil or not. As you can see, the answer is kind of on the lower end, like below half, so we'll put some more oil in. So we filled up the oil. To do that, you have to take this cap off here. So we did that. It's a bit of a struggle to get the cap off, but we got it off. Put a funnel in, filled it up with 20 W50 mineral oil, and then retested the dipstick until we got it right, and it's now right. So the car's running well with no warning lights. The issue we do have is that the indicator doesn't work. So, well, it works intermittently. So this one works basically never, and this one works intermittently. They are both controlled by the same wire. What's weird is the wire only works occasionally. When you fiddle with it, it works fine, but it doesn't always work. So we need to do that next. That's the next thing on our list. Now, another thing I'm going to have to do now, I've got my duct tape, is as you can see, the heater core here works very well, but the hoses are very flimsy. So this one's come off. This is the one that goes into the footwell of the passenger side. So let's see if I can push that back in. And then I'll maybe tape it together. So I'm in the local butcher's doing the weekly shop. I go there quite a lot and I'm good friends with the guys who work there. So imagine my surprise when there's a gasp from the customers who are looking out of the front door and one of the butchers runs in to see me from the kitchen and says, "Louis, someone's hit your car." And everyone else in the shop had seen it too. So I drop what I'm holding and move as quickly as I can through the metal bug shield on the door and out to the street. The Robin is not just some modern SUV that was built by machines in a factory and then imported over here without a care. It's handmade in my country over 40 years ago. It's witnessed more history than I have. This car was made in 1986, the year of the Challenger disaster, the Chernobyl disaster. In its first year of life, it saw the re-election of Margaret Thatcher, Ronald Reagan saying, "Tear down this wall." When this car was born, there were fewer than 5 billion people on the planet. Now there's 8.2. My little three-wheeler has experienced so much.
So you can imagine my frustration watching some nonchalant muppet drive his vehicle into my gorgeous car. A terrible accident, right? So I flew out across the street and up to the front door of the van, and I'm looking in the window and I say, "You've just backed into my car. What are you doing?" He said, "Oh no, I've got sensors. I didn't do that." Which of course made me a little bit angry. Not only could you see the impact, but you could hear it as well. And I said to him, "No, you didn't. 8 people in that shop just watched you, sir." However, immediately following this, things got a little bit worse, because one of the staff from the butcher shop came out with his phone and showed me the CCTV footage. This confirmed it was not some accidental bump. This man had deliberately backed into my Robin, heard the noise, noticed he'd done it, and then continued to reverse, shunting this car backwards down the road a foot. I genuinely could not believe what I was seeing. How could someone be so selfish and so lazy that instead of moving to one of the many spaces available down the road that would have been a 30-second walk at best, he decided he would drive his big ugly van into a classic car and push it around just to save himself some time. I genuinely don't understand this kind of mindset. This wouldn't excuse it, but it's not like I was selfishly parked taking up a bunch of space. I was as close to the curb as I could possibly get while still having enough room to pull out. So I told him, "Wait there," and I walked all around the car to check for damage. I looked at the front bumper, I got down and looked underneath, and I suppose one of the advantages of having a car made of fiberglass is it doesn't dent the same way metal does. It simply bends. Thanks to the fact that there was no physical damage to the car, I went back to the driver and I told him, "Look, you haven't damaged it, you're lucky, but this whole thing has been caught on camera, so I suggest you move down to a space that's big enough, because this one very clearly isn't." He very quickly left after that. But that's not actually the craziest thing that's happened to me in the Robin. A short while later, a Karen took issue with me, even though I'd done nothing wrong, and decided that she was going to stalk me home, following me even though I took a bunch of nonsensical left and right turns through housing estates in an attempt to find out where I lived. She then threatened me, physically got in my face, and attempted to intimidate me. Believe it or not, the story is absolutely crazy, and whilst you may have seen the confrontation on my short that I posted recently, the update I've got, in which the police were heavily involved, is a lot more interesting and has a twist that I did not expect to see. Make sure you subscribe, because that's coming in the next part of the Reliant Robin series. Oh, and one more thing. If you live near Bristol, I can't recommend Hannam Common Butchers enough. Pay them a visit. Their product is great and their prices are low. See you next time.